Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of November 23rd, 2023. The current character challenge is Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. That is a 1 week repeat. There are no requirements at normal difficulty and only 9 fights in each ladder at normal difficulty like all Suicide Squad challenges. And then you go back to the 12 and then 15 for the last fight, or for the last ladder I should say, on Expert and Nightmare. It also comes with better prizes like all the Suicide Squad challenges with a silver pack, gear locker, and gold pack instead of bronze credits and then silver pack. Right. After normal difficulty, if that matters to you, the requirements are Black Adam, Flash, and Raven, who are silver, bronze, and challenge gold respectively. But, really there's no benefit to completing it at higher difficulties, so you might as well just use the reset glitch.
Right.
Her passive is It's What We Do, which means that Harley has an extra trick in her bag of tricks. If Suicide Squad Deadshot is on your team, Dynamite turns to C4. If you have Suicide Squad the Joker on your team, the Joker picture brings him in for an attack. She's got 1,250 attack, 1,450 health, and was last available on the 26th of January this year, 2023.
So what's wild to me, just as an aside, is how easy, in terms of the requirements are and the number of fights. Yeah. Do you remember when challenges used to require challenge credits?
Like tokens.
Yeah. And you had to earn one single token for every, I think, 2 bars of energy that you use for fight. And then you'd have to accumulate enough to get through it. So not only were you doing more fights, but you were doing more fights in anticipation of doing fights.
Yeah, you were grinding in order to get the privilege of playing the challenge.
Yeah. All right, so she's got great high stats. She has the highest combined stats of any Harley Quinn at 2,700. And Suicide Squad Harley Quinn is a great character to build a team around. Her Special 2 is deadly when Joker's maxed out for a Special 2 to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. And there doesn't seem to be much need to change her from the way we played with her previously in the weekly recap back in January when we first started doing these videos of, highlighting the challenge character.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the ideal until I see something otherwise, because it is so much fun to play. So, like all Harley Quinns, her Special 2 is Bag of Tricks. The other Harleys have Unblockable Bomb, Heal, and Damage Boost. Suicide Squad Harley Quinn has that, plus the additional chance to give power to her teammates.
Mm-hmm.
She can also give splash damage on the bomb if Suicide Squad Deadshot is a teammate. That's what the C4 means in her passive.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. That dynamite doesn't do any more damage to the opponent that's active in front of you. So it's not nearly as useful when your goal is to knock out the opponent and get your power back with Tantu Totem. So here's the problem of all the Harley Quinns with the Special 2 bomb. That bomb damage is half for being unblockable.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very likely not enough damage to knock out a fresh opponent. And so this goes back to what we were talking about before, right? That if you're going to half the damage, that's what blocking would have done.
Yeah.
Reduce it by half. I'd just rather try to land it unblocked. And if it is blocked, guess what? I'm still doing as much damage as her Special 2 like that.
Yeah. Especially because, if we're talking about with Tantu Totem, you have the advantage of with a lot of your non-attack abilities, not dealing any damage and getting your power back instantly for free. Right. So having a mediocre Special 2 or having the other abilities for 0 cost with the right gear, it makes it sort of even worse math, right? It's unblockable, so it's low damage.
Right.
And you have a setup that already lets you do most specials for free. It's almost a waste when you get the bomb if you're trying to get something else.
Right. Except with Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, who has solved that problem because her passive is that the attack comes from Joker.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the main offensive weapon. If Suicide Squad Joker, either one of them is on her team, instead of damage boost, it becomes an attack from Joker. And the damage from Joker on a Suicide Squad Harley Quinn Special 2 is based on Joker's damage stat, which is enhanced and boosted by his passive, which is plus 10% per Suicide Squad teammate, and also boosted by any of his gears that has an effect on his Special 2.
Yeah.
Because of the way damage is calculated, I think the best strategy is to increase his crit chance on Special 2. Right now on our team, he has max augmented for crit chance 50%. He's got Demon Blade, a 2.5 star gear, which also increases crit chance by 30%. and Kryptonian Rifle, which also increases crit chance, and by another 30%. So you get a guaranteed crit hit on Harley Quinn Special 2 if you pick Joker. The last slot for Joker is Lex Helmet to boost crit damage. Cloak of Destiny also does it, but the extra Cloak of Destiny effects aren't that useful. If we need to tag him in, because he's not got any kind of built-in stun or anything.
Yeah.
So there's more than enough damage without boosting Special 2 to one-hit knockout most opponents on that. And you're seeing it in the video. Like, it's just absolutely spectacular. That's why Deadshot is still on the team instead of Hawkgirl Prime, because that third Suicide Squad character will boost Joker's damage, and Joker's damage is what ultimately determines how much Harley Quinn's Joker card will do for her Special 2. Now, boosting crit damage is fun. Using Cloak of Destiny, which is plus 50% crit damage, and LexCorp Helmet, which is another plus 50% crit damage. Problem is, if it doesn't crit, the damage is a lot less. And since our priority is to get power back for Harley Quinn with Tantu Totem, boosting the damage sometimes at the cost of reducing the damage other times, that's kind of a no-go.
Yeah.
Now, so using...
You want to be consistent, basically.
Right.
More than lucky.
Right. So using LexCorp Helmet, plus Kryptonian Rifle, plus Demon Blade, crits every time. The damage needs to be based on something, and so we've talked about it, but it's a little funny to me that even though damage is based on Special 2, what you get on the screen is Joker's Special 1 animation, which is a gunshot.
Yeah.
You do it from Suicide Squad Harley Quinn Special 2, and it has his damage stat as the base damage. But it's affected by his Special 2 modifiers.
Yeah, so all the different elements of it are all coming from different places, seemingly.
Yeah. Right, so it makes it not intuitively obvious, but clearly we figured this out over time, playing with them a lot, making adjustments and doing experiments.
Yeah.
So my biggest problem using this team is that the abilities for Harley Quinn, because now you've got an extra one, they cycle through quickly, and depending on what kind of lag there is on your device, and if it's consistent, then I sometimes screw up, and I'll pick the wrong thing. I kind of do it a lot. I mean, the no damage options are okay, because Tantu Totem gives you power back, but getting the timing right to do the Joker card on the next one, like to do another Special 2 right away, after you've done a no damage special, and then the opponent has a chance to whack you around. It makes it a little bit harder. So, still good. It's just, you've got to be careful.
But then the real thing that sucks is if you use a bomb accidentally, like we talked about before.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing, though, that's bad. Well, not the only thing that's bad. It's the thing that's worse than everything else.
Yeah.
So one fun fact is that Harley Quinn gets credit for the kills, but Joker gets credit for the damage, and you can see that in the stats at the end, with one exception. And I'll get into that in just a moment, right? Because in theory, if you don't have Joker in the first slot, he will have 0 seconds of the fight. But he'll be doing massive damage because he'll be basically knocking everybody out, making this the best damage per second output loadout that's possible.
Yeah.
So the tweak that we did last time and we're keeping is that Harley Quinn's third gear is Enchantress Companion gear. So it saves her in the cases where the opponent has a revive and they're still standing in front of you. And sometimes the skulls do enough damage to finish them off after the revive. Never mind just saving her.
That's great.
And she gets credit for that damage. It also protects against opponents that have a tag in effect or tag in with power because they can't do a special immediately. So if Rebirth Raven is next opponent up and she steals your power, you have the chance to tag in a meat shield to eat the special, or somebody who's got some power built up to knock her out.
Yeah.
I think there might even be examples of that in the footage that you're going to see. So this is a fast team, and it's faster than pretty much almost anybody in multiplayer except, I think, the Flashpoint team. But it's, like I said, it's a bit of a dangerous kind of balance, right? Flashpoint, if you make a mistake, fights a little bit longer. With this Suicide Squad Harley Quinn team, if you make a mistake, mainly the mistake being timing the right Special 2 for Harley Quinn, you can lose the fight. Yeah.
So higher risk for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is part of a challenge cycle rotation that has been going on for years, so we can pretty confidently say that next week we should see Dawn of Justice Superman as the challenge. Right. And 23 characters, unfortunately, who are at one point available in the challenge are missing from this cycle.
Right.
This week's multiplayer reward is the War Gauntlet, which becomes the Claw of Horus, and when it is maxed out, it gives you the following abilities. On tag in, the opponent receives damage equal to 10% of his health. When an opponent tags in, all damage to that opponent increases by 10%, stacks 3 times, and resets on player tag out. And the evolved ability, which is on Special 1, a 75% chance to disable 1 random gear till the opponent tags out. This was last available on the 20th of April, 2023. We've been just under 3 years at this point of a pattern for this, and so we should expect to see Tantu Totem next week, which is great because Tantu Totem is probably the best gear in the game. It's definitely up there. Yeah, so if you don't have it already, this is your time to get it next week.
Right.
Start, preparing yourself now.
So let's look at the abilities. I mean, some of them just don't matter. We'll get through those quick. Tagging damage of 10%. I mean, that's decent. It's not great.
Yeah.
You get 25% from Cassandra Came Back Girl just from tagging in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 10% isn't really game-changing at all. Opponent tag in, boost damage 10%, stacks up to 3 times. It's not enough of a boost. And not enough opponent tag outs and tag ins, right?
Yeah.
So it's not going to make enough of a difference. I mean, even if you tried to maximize that effect and used it with Antimatter Sinestro with his passive and Special 1 to force tag out over and over again, I mean, you could stack it max 30 times.
Yeah.
Right? And that's only if you had 3 bars of power and you decided to do Special 1 3 times instead of doing Special 2.
Yeah, really, for whatever type of damage your character is mostly doing, there's better sort of abilities that just give you damage boost as single, abilities on one type of damage.
Right.
That would be more impactful.
Right. So why is this such a great gear? It's because disabling gear on Special 1 is that one singular ability that makes this such an important gear.
Yeah, it wouldn't need to do anything else. It could just have that ability and it would be basically just as good.
Right. I mean, it works it disables gear, or it has a 75% chance of disabling gear even if it's blocked, even if Astro Harness is giving invulnerability, even if there's whatever invulnerability and they're not taking any damage at all, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you can leverage the effect by using characters that can trigger multiple gear effects like Batman Special 1, any non-prime Batgirl, or using gears that can multiply special effects. Mm-hmm. And so the 2 great examples are Enchantress Command Gear, where the Flying Skulls after your special can each trigger the gear effect if you have a second bar of power to quickly do another Special 1 in time with the Skulls landing.
Mm.
And Master's Death Cart is the other one where on your second tag in which Master's Death Cart's hits on the tag in work just like the Enchantress Skulls, and you can give the gear effect to the opponent multiple times if you time your Special 1 with the Master's Death Cart hits landing.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those strategies, right? Enchantress strategy, which requires 2 bars of power, or the Master's Death Cart strategy, which requires a second tag in, they let you remove every piece of gear on the opponent, even though there's only supposed to be a 75% chance of disabling 1 gear with each Special 1. Now, if, like you're saying, if a piece of gear has just one ability that makes it worth the gear slot, I mean, this is a legendary gear.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. This is one of the best gears to have. It makes fights a lot more interesting sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's a satisfaction when you can strip all the gears of somebody.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Moving on to the store, we have the Dawn of Justice Superman pack for $24.99 Canadian. That is sort of our second clue to next week's challenge being Dawn of Justice Superman. It doesn't come with credits, right? So it's the most of a ripoff it can be. You either get a $12 pack that just has a character, a $24 pack that has a character and 100,000 credits, or this pack, which is expensive and doesn't come with the credits.
Yeah.
So definitely don't buy this, even though most people are probably not buying these anyways.
Right.
And it's important to note that it does not unlock a copy in your store.
Right. A couple other, I guess, celebratory packs for the American Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
There's the Ultimate Bundle Bringers of Justice that's been 125 Canadian for a long time, but if you look back to when it was first introduced, it was $66.
Wow.
It went up to $99 a month after that, and then back down to 95, I guess, because it was, currency fluctuations, and it's been sitting at 125 since then. Contains 10 of the best heroes, it says, and you can read the list yourself, but basically they are all challenge characters except Dawn of Justice Batman, who was previously originally a random drop in his Dawn of Justice gold pack.
We also have the Ultimate Bundle Villains and Monsters, which is $124.99 Canadian, and it followed basically the same pricing fluctuation as the last pack. It says it contains 10 of the best villains, and you can read through that list yourself, but there's a couple of multiplayer rewards in there. Yeah. So it's, I think, a little bit of a better deal, relatively speaking.
Yeah. Bleed Out pack is around for its second week, and that's pretty much it for stuff that's relatively recent. There's a bunch of other packs that we can basically consider sort of the standard
Forever packs.
They're the background noise because they're around all the time.
Mm-hmm. Phantom Zone is back for 2 more weeks. Fight 62 is still broken. It looks like there's double XP this weekend. I should say there is double XP this weekend for what seems to be American Thanksgiving.
Right, so it's unfunny, right? Because American Thanksgiving it's the Thursday, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it's very, very few holidays are like that where, when a lot of holidays they pick a day of the week that it comes at, and then you figure out what. But most often they're like Mondays and Fridays. This is one of the few holidays like that where it's not quite the middle of the week, but it gives you, I guess if you were in the States, you get a really nice long weekend.
Yeah. Last weekend's breakthrough was Deadshot, Wonder Woman, and Static, so this weekend's breakthrough should be Zatanna, The Flash, and Solomon Grundy. Link in the description to a complete cycle maintained by Devlin16 so that you can check out what's going to be coming up on the breakthrough yourself if you would like.
Right. So as far as the current glitches go, we will go into more detail every time something significant changes, which did not happen this week. However, even if nothing changes, we still do a more detailed review once a month, the first week of every month. And most recently, that was our recap from November 2nd.
Yeah, and it will also be next week, I think. Or no, 2 weeks from now?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, so you can also
see...
Yeah, that's right. You can also see a video tutorial for every working glitch in our playlist, Current Working Glitches, linked in the description of this video.
Yeah.
The one thing worth mentioning is that the Challenge Reset glitch has been confirmed to be working on this week's Suicide Squad Harley Quinn Challenge. Mm-hmm. And that's Phantom Zone 2 now that's back. Mm-hmm. It's working on Phantom Zone 2.
Yeah, and so just remember... you reset progress on both if you reset progress on one. So make sure you want to reset progress on both before you use the glitch.
Right.
There you go. And to finish up, we'd like to give a huge thank you to our supporters on Patreon. That's Michael Devries, Irvin, Ruiz, and Hoshi127 on the credited level, as well as the name scrolling past who have supported us at some point during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for your support, and thanks so much to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.